Hey guys, how you doing? This is Marek from Epicode. Welcome to my channel. It's winter time, so I would like to show you how to create animated snow background in React Native. I wanted to give the feeling that each snowflake lives on its own, so we'll randomize their styles. Additionally, we will compose a few animation effects. In this video, we'll focus on how to create smooth animation and how to combine them. You can find code for this video on GitHub, and additionally I published npm package called React Native Snow PG, so if you like you can use it for your apps. Stay with me. I prepared some simple boilerplate code. Here's a screen with nice looking winter background and our snow component. Mentioned component will be responsible for providing scene that will take whole screen, and it will display as many snowflakes as you want. Let's start with only one for now. Snowflake component will hold most of the logic, configuration and animations, so we'll focus on this one. So we have basic snowflake style, negative start position, so fall animation will start above the screen, and snowflake types. I used 3 types of text emojis to display snowflakes, so we will not need to use any external images. Our snow component, which we will be building, next is getConfig function that will return an object with randomized styles and animation constraints. Finally, we have randomInt function, which we will use for customizing snowflakes config. Let's start creating our main component. I will add state that will hold snowflake config for each animation's loop. Let's add all the values we need to getConfig function now. We will start with style constraints. Each snowflake will have customized size between 10 and 18, opacity between 0.4 and 1. It will get one of types from array and random exposition on the screen. It will be between 0 and 100%. Snowflakes will have 3 types of animation. It will fall from top to the bottom with randomized speed, rotate left or right, and swing from left to the right with custom amplitude. Let's add constraint for first type of animation. It will be snowflake fall. It will have random duration between 1 and 30 seconds and random animation delay, so they will not fall altogether. I will make delay smaller for now, so it will be easier to test. Let's return all constraint in an object. We can now display and animate first snowflake. Let's start with animated Y value that will reflect fall position on the screen. We will need runAnimation function that will invoke on each time snowflake config refresh and restart the whole animation. We want fall animation to wait for delay from config and then start with given speed. We will use Animated.sequence to compose our fall, and it takes an array of animations. First will be Animated.delay, which basically waits with execution, and then we will run animated timing with animated Y value. It will move to scene height, use duration from config, linear easing, and of course it will use native driver. Let's invoke star function, which can take callback function that will be invoked on each animation finish. We want to get new config value and set it in state. Run animation will be called in useEffect each time config changes, so if we have a config value, we will simply call that function. We can now add snowflake text component, which will display emoji from config type. Let's add snowflake style, styles from config. and also translate Y, which will animate it on a screen. Let's save it and see if it works. Snowflake false. With current setup, run animation will be called on first render. When full animation is finished, it will set new config and run animation will be invoked once again and again and again. The problem here is that animated Y has value of screen height at the end of animation, so we need to set initial Y value at the beginning of each run animation. And now it will loop correctly. Meanwhile, we can add rotation and swing animations. Let's start with adding rotation constraints to config. We'll randomize duration of full rotation and also direction. It will rotate right if it is 0 and left when it will be 1. Okay, we'll need new animated value for animated rotation. Let's reset it at the beginning of animation. Snowflake will rotate in an infinite loop, so we can use animated loop, which will repeat timing animation of animated rotation to value will be 1 and duration from config. We can start animation and it will repeat this in infinite loop. One thing to note here is that animated loop does not offer a callback on each repeat, so this is why it was not suitable for full animation, but it will work perfectly for this one. Let's interpolate animated rotation to rotation degrees. Input range will be from 0 to 1, and we will set output range depending on rotation direction value. This will result in 2 different rotation directions. Now we can add duration style to an array of transformations, and that should be it. Rotation looks too fast for some reason. Oh, actually I forgot to return value from config, so let's fix it. Now animation looks good and Snowflake rotates slowly. Animations look good for now, so time for the last one. We'll add side swing animation. It will have randomized duration and also amplitude, and we'll return them in config. I will add another animated value called animated swing. Let's reset its value each time we call run animation. Now animation itself, I will use animated loop again. Inside of it, we will have animated sequence with 2 timing animations. We will be changing animated swing value to -1, which will be left swing, and then to +1, which will be swing right, and we can start animation. Finally, we can add translate X interpolation based on that value. So input range will be from -1 to 1 and output will be minus swing amplitude up to plus swing amplitude. Finally, we can add translate X to transforms and we should be all set. Let's check it out. Swing amplitude looks very small, so I will update animation delay and we can test it with more snowflakes to see full effect without waiting. Let's update number of snowflakes to 100. And now you can see that all 3 types of animations work. We used native driver for animations, so even with high number of snowflakes, it should be smooth. So here's our final snowfall effect. Looks nice and works smoothly. If you liked presented animation effect, please subscribe to my channel and leave me a comment, and I will record more videos like this.